Oh my goodness.
The one of one is missing.
I knew something was up.
Pop, that's almost twice as much going for the same price.
I just freaking love that rated rookie logo.
Doing more buy-ins.
Which one of these 5 quarterbacks has the worst set of pass catchers to throw the football to?
Guess how much I sniped this for an auction?
Number to 5, you dirty animal.
I'm telling you, these optic on-card autos are money.
We're here, baby. Week 4. Enjoy the National Football League while you have it. There's injuries left and right. Tackle football. Look, I understand that this is indeed tackle football, but this to me, even with the injuries, and my dear beloved Joe Burrow being out, and my dear beloved Jaden Daniels being out, this is the best start to an NFL season I can remember, Andy. I'm so freaking excited to get into the football card market and our power rankings going into this next week. What's going on, bro?
I think this is your lucky season, Carter.
Oh, let's go.
I think this is your lucky season because you've always wanted to buy into Jamar Chase. You've always wanted to buy into Joe Burrow. You wanted to buy into some of these other LSU receivers, maybe Brian Thomas Jr. Well, this is the season where I think when we get to the end of October, midway through November, especially around that Thanksgiving time period, these cards are going to hit potentially career lows for Jamar Chase. That's just my take. I think that, that I think you'll be able to buy in much lower than at any other point in his career. And you'll finally be able to get some in your collection.
Let's start with, to me, the biggest name over the weekend, Andy. He's the thumbnail image. It's Mr. Justin Herbert from the class of 2020, one of the more legendary modern NFL draft classes when it comes to football cards.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I still think the 2020 draft class is an elite football card class. And here's the current EPA leaders through week 3. And you can see Justin Herbert sitting right there at number 4, 25.5. And if you look at his average throw rate, the Chargers are throwing way over expectation. I think they've got one of the highest pass rates in neutral game scenarios in the league right now, which is surprising with, Jim Harbaugh as their coach. But that's what they're doing. And Justin Herbert is playing incredible. And they're winning games. They're 3-0, and it's not easy matchups. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Chiefs. I mean, they've been playing difficult teams with solid defenses and throwing the ball a ton. And yet Justin Herbert still top 5 in the league in EPA, 25.5. And his rookie cards have seen new highs. I saw his rookie ticket auto PSA 10 hit $5,000 on Monday.
Goodness.
That exceeds what Joe Burrow is currently going at. So yeah, Joe Burrow has fallen down to about 3,000 for that card. And then if you go and look at what Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love are at, they're somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000, about 1,500, just depending on the card and the grade, the set, all that, the whole 9 yards when it comes to card assets. So yeah, Justin Herbert, his values, generally speaking, you got to start comparing them to Joe Burrow. He is starting to exceed Joe Burrow, and I'm interested to see where this goes, man. In terms of strength of defense, is great. Look at this matchup this coming weekend. You've got Jackson Dart starting rookie quarterback for the Giants, and the Chargers get this matchup. This is a great matchup for their defense, great matchup for their offense. I also see that the hobby is sleeping on Amari and Hampton. I mean, people are paying $100, and they're paying over $100 for like mid cards that'll be worth $30 a year from now for Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's offensive usage continues to decline. His defensive usage goes up, and the performance really isn't there. The team itself is sputtering. And then you look at Ashton Genty, who's the team itself on the Raiders is sputtering, and he's just not – the offensive line is terrible. He's not getting any help there. Yeah. And his great runs are far and few in between. It's a very slow start. and Armarian Hampton is going for less than half of what those guys are going for. And Najee Harris is done for the season. This makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
He's a great, so this whole Chargers situation is really fun to watch. Keenan Allen having a resurrection to his career. And then outside of that, Quentin Johnson has proved me wrong, man. He looks great. And so there's a lot of stuff going on there for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think this year is a friendly reminder. First round draft capital. There's so many guys in recent years that were just total bust as elite first round picks. And Quentin Johnston is one of them. So is Daniel Jones, who's also on the nail. Sometimes it just takes time for these guys. We'll get to Jackson Dart in a minute. He's the biggest name in football cards going into this weekend because we know what card prices could do with debuts. But for me, Andy, I look at first round draft capital as something that always comes back around on most NFL draft prospects. And we're talking about guys that have really started their careers in the gutters, right? Baker Mayfield's one of them. Obviously, he's your favorite player in the NFL right now. And then Daniel Jones, and he looks amazing, Andy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, going back to those EPA leaders, look at Daniel Jones with a 34.8. I mean, he is really throwing dimes out there. He's living up to his name there, Danny Dimes. I mean, even that bomb he had to Alec Pierce, everything looks so timed so perfectly. It doesn't look like he's panicking. He's playing with confidence. This structure that Shane Steichen has set up for him is just absolutely perfect here. The offensive line, if you look at PFF grades, this is a top 5 offensive line in the league right now. Jonathan Taylor, also NFL's leading yardage rusher. The guy's having a great start to his season and maybe a career year. So you combine that with the weapons they have. And this is why I always felt so strange to see Michael Pittman Jr.'s prices get so low because we always knew he was a good athlete.
Yeah.
But there were so many questions with the quarterback situation there. There was a point where we started talking about Josh Downs was better than Michael Pittman Jr. A.D. Mitchell was better than Michael Pittman Jr. But the whole time, I didn't feel right to me. And I knew that going back to Michael Pittman Jr.'s rookie season, this was a guy who won against man coverage, who won on contested catches. And now we're seeing it finally again this year. Alec Pierce looked pretty good out there as well. I think, he may have got a concussion this past week, but this whole team right now, absolutely. There's still, I think, a lot of people that are hesitant to get in on the Daniel Jones market because his cards have over doubled in value from where they were before the season. But they're still, if you were to compare Daniel Jones to Justin Herbert, right? There's a lot of room for Daniel Jones cards to go up. Why do we not compare Daniel Jones to Justin Herbert? I mean, Daniel Jones' team is 3-0. Maybe the Colts don't have quite as big of a fan base as the Chargers, but yet Justin Herbert has won playoff games. So to me, there's only a year in age that separates these guys. Maybe not even in age, but in terms of draft class, there's only a year. There's actually more scarcity to 2019. Both these guys are 3-0, and both these guys have shown that their team has clear playoff potential this year. Why do we not look at these prices on Daniel Jones and think they can't go up? They can't double again.
So just for posterity's sake,
okay,
one of these quarterbacks is Daniel Jones and the other is Justin Herbert. That's not what Andy is saying, though. You're more so saying you have to factor in the 2019 scarcity and you have to factor out the price difference. It comes down to price. I remember at the National a few years ago, those color match blue Daniel Jones rookie ticket autos, contenders autos, I almost bought a few for like $50, and now I'm kicking myself for not doing that, right? So, you do make a good point, and you have to factor in that the Colts are in a way worse division than the Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers team. So you look, I don't the Texans are done. The Jaguars are a very shaky 2-1. They
Yep.
could be 3-0. You can make that case. And then of course the Titans are so
Yeah.
Colts are of the 3-0 teams. The Colts are probably the best lock to actually make the playoffs and continue what they're doing. But you're right, the Chargers look amazing as well.
Yeah, so it's like I look at the day. Okay, so take his just the base prism, right? It's a very common card, but it's super premium set. People love this base prism. Sells all day. 2,747 PSA 10 population for Daniel Jones. Sells about a current trend of $38. It's up almost 50%. 99 sales in the past 6 months. Then we look at Justin Herbert's base prism. Population of 6,052, Carter. This is over double the population, and it's got 227 sales, which makes sense. He's a more popular player. He's got more population on this card, but this card also sells for twice as much. It's currently at a trend of $63 here, and it's up 18% over the past 6 months. So you can see where it was at in the summer before the season, about $40, and now we're up over 60. And this is just, a one card to give you an indication of what his overall market is doing and the difference between him and Daniel Jones in terms of card price. So yes, Justin Herbert, I think, is a chalky buy, but when you factor in all those other things that we just mentioned about strength of schedule and the strength of the division and everything else, I like both buys. Don't get me wrong, but the price on Daniel Jones, especially when you factor his nicer cards, right? If you look at a Justin Herbert rookie ticket auto or a Justin Herbert, let's say optic auto, we're going to be talking about something that's going to sell for over $1,000. Or close to $1,000, depending on the grade and the condition. As you can see, all these transactions here, I got to find like something that's, that's not event signed, but it's not serial numbered. A PSA 9 optic bronze auto, non-serial numbered, sticker auto, sold yesterday or 3 days ago for $900 in a buy it now on the dot. You could go and buy a Daniel Jones optic auto PSA 9 out of 125 for 200 or less. There's one that sold yesterday for 160, I think it was. And there's a bronze on here. That was a new listing. That was about 150. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 150 right there. $150 versus $900. Even if this card grades out to a PSA 8, which these have a good rate of at least a 9, you're looking at a lot of I'm not saying that he gets up to Justin Herbert's prices, right? There's differences there, but the potential for this card to at least get up to 500-600 is very real.
Let's talk about Jackson Dart, Andy. He gets a start versus these Los Angeles Chargers. It's ironic how this works out. He's starting versus the Chargers, and he is the Daniel Jones theoretical replacement after Russell Wilson threw moonballs into the first row of the stands this past weekend. So your thoughts, Jackson Dart, this is going to be a college card heavy market, but there's also some NFL stuff. Dart has a lot of college autos because he played at Ole Miss and was a starter there 2022, 2023, and 2024. Andy, your thoughts on JD6?
Yeah, so if you're targeting Jackson Dart, I would actually look at the new Donruss 2025 Donruss set because you've got all kinds of different cards in there. As you could see, the rookies selling for like $20. You got patches from Origins that people are after. A lot of these cards, especially if you're pulling them from packs, are great flips like immediately right now before he even plays a game. So there's a chance these cards could go down in value. If you got something from Donruss Elite, I mean, look at this buy now today. Serial numbered out of 25. Best offer accepted from 450. So I'd have to look it up, but without taking the time to look it up, it still went for a few $100s. So you can see all the buy it nows going here. Here's one of the nice inserts. This is what's so cool about base Donruss. They have these optic preview inserts. And look at this. I have not seen this one in previous years, but this year there is a gold cracked ice out of 10 for Jackson Dart.
Ooh.
Man, that card is fire right now. So if you had like, this is a grail card within the hobby. I think this person probably sold it maybe a little low, but the thing is, they probably pulled out of a pack or won it in a break, which was pulled out of a pack. So, that means they had a lot of profit in it, and they're willing to take what they can go ahead and get here. I'm gonna look it up, Carter. What do you think about this sale for out of 10 for, let's see.
Let me try and guess the price that this person actually paid for it. I would guess it ended at $1,999 if I were to guess. They took $2K for it.
Let's see. Let's pop over here to 130point.com. This is
and while this loads up, we say hi to Joel, Tim, Zim, Craig, Jonathan across the pond. Game Winner Extreme with an interesting question about Panini football. I also want to actually, I'm going to save this for a topic next week. It's something to look forward to for next week. But Andy, what was it? Has the price?
Yes, sir.
Look at that! God, I was close. Oh man, I was off by $100.
Yep,
Dang.
You were right there. 1900.
God.
So, yeah. So so that's the thing. So let's go and see if we can find a Daniel Jones gold out of 10. This is the rookie allure, man. This is what people are chasing here. Right up the bat. I mean, you could look. There's an optic gold out of 10 for Daniel Jones, 1,500. Good, saved yourself $400 and got yourself Daniel Jones. Is it as exciting? No, it's not as exciting as buying Jackson Dart because of the fact that Daniel Jones.
What was that? Wait, scroll up again to go back. What was the
okay?
What was the gold? The true Prism gold number to 10.
Let me get back. These were live listings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that one right there.
Yeah, still got a week left on the auction.
Yeah, okay. So I was about to say that's the true gold Prism.
That's the true
10.
gold, and that would probably get you a higher price than the optic. We'll see if we can find one here recently. But I mean, yeah, a lot of the golds.
Kaboom
gold. Now that's a big card. That's a grail card that I would rank much higher than any other case hit or any other gold Prism. I'd be looking at that card as basically a 1 of 1.
PSA 10 for 9K. So I would prefer. Okay, there's a true gold for 6K.
You want to guess? What the offer was accepted for?
Okay. So it was an offer accepted. So that was probably accepted at $4,500.
$4,500. It's $1,500 discount.
All right, give it your best guess in the chat right now. I would guess that went for $4,500. But really quickly, while you pull that up, as far as the Jackson Dart Daniel Jones situation, I think a lot of people are trying to sell their Dart because they saw what happened with JJ McCarthy, which has been a disaster. If you didn't sell after week 1, and then he had the week 1 fourth quarter, you probably are still holding, and then you get this injury news. And then you had the Vikings play the best game of the O'Connell tenure with Carson Wentz, who we've given out as plays of the week in the past.
He looked all right.
Yeah, it was more so Browning destructing, if anything. But yeah. It's interesting. I will tell you this, Andy. I'm very happy I sold all my JJ McCarthy's before his debut. I know that could come back to bite me, but I know there's going to be quite a few people that are going to be cognizant and weary of doing anything with JJ McCarthy at this point. So it is interesting. If you're a JJ McCarthy card holder. Let us know what your plan is. But if you have a lot of Jackson Dart, I would move some right now and hold on to the others.
You know who my hobby comp. So I'm coming up with these hobby comps, right? My hobby comp for JJ McCarthy. Who do you think it is?
Oh, don't say McCorkle Jones.
No, not McCorkle Jones.
No, okay, let's hear it.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I could see it. But T-Law was on a different level, if you will, because he was the number one overall pick and he was viewed as
Yeah.
the generational. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about JJ McCarthy because I liked him coming out of college. I did. I never really was a Trevor Lawrence guy. And I do
Smart
a
man.
on Power Hour NFL. If my Power Hour NFL viewers are watching right now, I do a Trevor Lawrence film study every week, and that's partially because I'm a big BTJ fan. But I say in every video, it's like he's not that good. He's just not that good, and he could still win with Liam. And we say the Colts are a lock of a division. Maybe the Jaguars get hot here; they're 2-1. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about old JJ McCarthy. So what was the price on that gold?
4,000
4K.
on the
I was
dot.
over again. I was over again. Dang. I'm
Yeah.
barely missing these. That's a
But
good sale, bro. That's a good
yeah,
sale.
and that's a BGS 9.5. So it's like, somewhere between a PSA 9 and a 10. And that that Jackson Dart card was raw, and is also from Optic Preview, which, although it's more scarce than base Optic, it still to this day does not sell for quite as much as the base Optic gold will sell for. I guarantee you that. There's just something about the inserts compared to the base photo variation from the base set that sell for more, man. And we see that with Prism and Optic. uh, when we're talking about those mainstream premium retail sets, it's what we see year in, year out.
For the chat right now, do you value gold number to 10? Is our chat buyers of gold number to 10 cards, or are they more of the, hey, I want to get a downtown, I want to get a kaboom, I want to get something like that? Andy, I am such a sucker for gold number to 10s. I become such a sucker for it. I love it. I love the scarcity. I'm always going to be black finite one of one, but you know there's not as many of those. I think gold number to 10 is just a good medium of, hey, it is attainable. You do have to pay up, but it's not unattainable because if you had the one-on-one, you control everything, right? Where gold number to 10s, out of nowhere, you have two different opportunities to buy Daniel Jones. We saw the auction gold number to 10 True Prism, and then we saw the one you just saw right there with BGS 9.5. So, Andy, as I've matured, as I've gotten more gray hair, as you could see here, I
Oh
become
yeah, man, there's quite a
a
few grays in there.
yeah, I'm telling you, I've become more of a gold number to 10 guy. I would go game worn patches, which obviously doesn't exist anymore, number one when it comes to a card. And then I would go gold number to 10. That's what I'm looking for if I'm paying up to get a premium card.
Yeah, I agree, because I think they're a little bit more obtainable. Pretty much every set has a gold out of 10 or a gold out of
Yeah.
25. And downtowns and kabooms only come out of two sets. And the thing is, those are so popular, iconic case hits, although the downtowns are way more common the past 2 years than they used to be. So kabooms have a clear and obvious top ranking in terms of case hits and like rail cards. So yeah, the gold out of 10 is more obtainable, and yet still has that desirability factor you're talking about, where it'll sell as one of the top cards for any given player. And there's certain teams, like look at the Chargers or the Rams match to gold out of 10 cards. Look at the Saints match to gold out of 10 cards. There's some teams that just match so well with gold. And I guess all players really, or all teams really do look good on a gold prism card. And now, they have the gold shimmer. You see the gold cracked ice. I mean, dude, absolute fire.
Yeah. Let's start taking some. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
you saw the Baker Mayfield gold prism sold for 10K. Talk about the Daniel Jones at 4,000. The Baker Mayfield gold prism sold for 10K over the weekend.
really, his true gold from
It's true gold.
2018. So
Yeah.
would you rather that card at 10K or Daniel Jones at 4K?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would have that card for Baker in my personal collection. It would
Yeah, of
be
course.
a
Yeah.
long term hold. But in term from the business aspect of it, I'd rather have the Daniel Jones. I feel like I can make more profit on that card this year. I'm really concerned about Tampa's injuries right now because Chris Godwin's going to have a slow ramp up, and now Mike Evans looking at missing a few weeks with a hamstring injury that he already aggravated in training camp. And so this is now a recurring theme this year for Mike Evans. It's not good, man. And so this matchup this week, watch out. This is I don't know. I hope that we can get the run game going a little bit better, but we're going to need to. We're playing the Eagles, and after they came alive in the second half against the Rams and how well Jalen Hurts was throwing the ball, AJ Brown finally got loose. I can see that happening against us here. So I expect this to be somewhat of a shootout, but we're lacking weapons right now. Amika can only handle so much volume. They can blanket cover him, and so it's like, what are we going to do here? Maybe Kate Otten gets more involved. Sterling Shepard, his old college teammate, gets more involved. So it's like we're lacking some weapons, and I will get through it. But yeah, I don't know about we might be 3-1 after this weekend. I'm real nervous about this matchup.
Let's go to Card Banker. He wants to talk wide receivers.
Love it.
He bought 2 Prism Silver BTJ PSA 10s this weekend because he's half the cost of Malik Neighbors. Or should he go after CD Lamb here as CD is taking care and nursing an ankle injury right now?
I think BTJ is probably the better buy through the first 3 weeks. You could probably buy him cheaper than CD Lamb. CD Lamb's kind of like Joe Burrow, right? Well, same draft class, but in terms of the elite talent and just like household name, that is there for CD Lamb. Whereas Brian Thomas Jr., there were still, like, I remember going to card shows in the summer and they kind of knew who Brian Thomas Jr. was. There's some dealers out there, believe it or not, that knew who Brian Thomas Jr. was, but they didn't know how good he was or how good of his rookie season was, and I had to explain it to them because I have some really nice Brian Thomas Jr. cards that I'm holding.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I got a Jaguar print out of 10 rookie auto of his that I'm holding, and the guy was like, and I'm like, don't you know who that guy is? So yeah, he's had the drops. The offense is dysfunctional, but he's an elite talent. And I think there's still a lot of people that don't have BTJ as a household name, so he can slip off faster than a guy like CeeDee Lamb, whose prices will hold a little bit longer in the high ankle. And even though the Cowboys aren't winning games, neither are the Jags. It's still the Cowboys, and it's still CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, I think he'll bounce right back. And I don't think his cards will really dip that much, especially on those more rare rookie autos. Whereas Brian Thomas Jr.'s, I think, could dip a lot more. You have still supply flooding into the market. If you look at the top buy it now solds, they're still on second-year players because they have the most supply in the market, Carter. That's just plain and simple,
Well, yeah, and I'm wondering if I sold my Roma Dunze too soon, man.
Yeah, you did. You
Dude,
did.
I sold, and look, I have it pulled up right here, the card that I sold. Like, I'll pull it up. I want the chat to flame me if I sold this too quick. If this would have gone up anymore. So that's my chunky hand. I always like taking photos of my cards outside on a sunny day.
You're the guy who talks about it. Well, at least it's not sitting on your lap or sitting on your dog, or you don't have hairs.
Oh, wait. Did I go against protocol here with the?
Well, you're always the guy talking about selling with cards with your fingernails, and your fingernails are very well manicured.
Yeah,
so
don't get on my manis, man. Miss Ann and Mr. Tony take good care of me. But did I sell this too soon? 6 hundo for 101. So let's see if the 101s have gone up.
Yeah,
This
let's
is
take a
3 days.
look.
Let's go to a more recent. See if we got anything comparable. Look, the vertical kaboom went for 15K. Buy it
I
now,
agree.
Andy.
You know who I talked to the other day who's sitting on a green. He's sitting on two green one of one kabooms of Jonathan Taylor. Is our boy Jonathan Taylor cards.
Oh, is he
I
really?
text him. Yeah, I text him. I said, dude, you got to be licking your chops right now of your Jonathan Taylor collection. And he's like, yeah, I'm sitting on two green one of one kaboom Jonathan Taylors that they only printed in 1 year for him. He doesn't know quite what to do, so I'm kind of helping him potentially comp one of those out because I'm like, now is the time to sell a
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor because of the running back volatility, running back injury rate, running back volatility. Take advantage, right? I mean, Jonathan Taylor is in his prime right now, but running backs hit that age apex, 26, 27 years old, so he's about to hit that. And this is your chance to really sell high on Jonathan Taylor.
I would sell one and keep the other.
Yeah.
That just seems like the right thing to do. But his name is John. I've not talked to him in forever. His name is Jonathan Taylor Cards.
Well, yeah, he's
So
not going to get rid of his. He wouldn't be Jonathan Taylor cards anymore.
right, all right, all right. Uh, but there you go. Let's get to a few other players. A little C. White. We don't know Jaden Daniels' status, but knowing what I know about Jaden, he's going to play. If it's 50-50, he's
Yeah,
going to play. I
I think
think
he'll be
part
back this week.
I think part of this last weekend was the Raiders. I do think that was part of it. Um,
Carter,
let's go
check
to
this out real quick. While we're
no, go
while
on.
we're on your Roma Dunze one of one, let me add my screen back to the stage. Look at a couple one of ones here for sale sitting there that of that same set that haven't sold yet that probably will sell, but you've got one Ricky Pearsall. I mean, this guy leads the NFL right now in contested catches. San Francisco is a team that's undefeated still. It's great. I know they just lost Nick Bosa to an ACL for the year, so that's definitely going to impact their defense. But do you look at Ricky Pearsall, and even when Ayuk comes back, even when Kittle comes back, Ricky Pearsall has shown he's a good route runner. This guy's got great hands. He's a guy that I see going up and up in value over the next couple years with the 49ers. I don't see Ayuk on this team long term, just like Debo. So I'm looking at Pearsall as the alpha wide receiver on this team. Even with Jennings, Kittle, etc., it's Pearsall. So yeah, I mean, this card hasn't sold. It's listed at 480. Now it's got 14 watchers, but the offer hasn't sold yet. And then you've got Trey Benson, who just stepped into what should be like a bell cow role for this guy, and he's shown real explosiveness on a solid team, on a competitor.
Oh,
Um,
it's totally wheels up for Trey Benson. That was going to be my play of
yeah,
the week, but someone already asked Zim 11. I'm a big Trey Benson believer, if you will. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's like a Jonathan Taylor type of player, but that is interesting. So I guess I sold my Rome at a good price if Pearsall's not selling at 480.
you really
Uh,
did, man. And that's the Chicago market, and the fact that he's a second year player. He had the first round draft capital, so he did have quite a bit of hype. And it is nice to see him actually convert that hype into realistic performance. And so now
yeah.
the expectations are going to increase, So could you have held it? Yeah, but I think you made the right call. I don't think you make too much more on that card. Maybe you could have got 800 to 1,000, but I mean, hey, you got it at a really good deal. I mean, look, the Brock Bowers sold before the season 750. You made the right call.
Malik Neighbors listed as questionable for Sunday.
Dude, this is going to be a
So
very
so
bad.
Jackson Dart's got to play Chargers defense. Jesse Minter with no Malik Neighbors.
This is going to be a rough rookie premiere for Jackson Dart. I mean, welcome to the NFL. This isn't preseason. This isn't training camp. Nobody's wearing red jerseys anymore. Good luck, buddy. I mean, I don't. I just.
God bless. All right, Andy, let's go through a few power rankings here. I still have the Packers as the best team in the NFL, even though they did choke one away versus the Browns over the weekend. Would you say it seems as if you're really in on the Chargers this year?
Well, I think the Chargers are good. If I had to look at, if I had to think of who I'd put number one, it'd probably be the Bills for me.
Okay.
I think is the best overall team, and just like, especially, I don't know, they just make it look so easy right now. Josh Allen, just it makes football look so easy for him on offense for like at least 9/10 of the game. I know they have their like bloopers every now and then, but the Bills are certainly a force. And they just, yeah, they're right now. They're real. It's going to be really close. The Packers to me lost a step this past weekend. I know that the Cleveland Browns have a very good defense, but the offense really struggled in this game to get going, and maybe that's injuries. Maybe that's the impact of missing Jaden Reed. And I know Tucker Kraft was a little banged up heading into that game, and they don't have Christian Watson. But man, they really struggled to get things going there get any passing game going against Cleveland.
All right, Andy, share my screen really quickly. I'm a little shocked that I still see people having the Ravens as high as they are. This is ML football. They have I'm not a big ML football fan, but they saw the Ravens at 5, which is shocking to me at 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a tough call to put the Ravens there. I would not. The Eagles would definitely be ahead of the Ravens for me. The Eagles are going to be ahead of the Colts and the Rams. I would put the Eagles there in the top 3 for sure until proven otherwise.
Here's what I like to do, though. I like to find the team that are low on everybody's power rankings that could catapult their way up to the top 10. And for me, one of those teams, ironically, and I didn't think I would be as high on them as I would like to think, but the Bears. Okay, so the Bears get Las Vegas, then they get an early bye, then they'll be at Washington, then New Orleans, at Baltimore, at Cincy, Giants. So the Bears, not a Caleb Williams guys, you know, Andy, they have a shot because, you know, they're kind of in a weird spot because the NFC North is so loaded. I think the Bears have a chance to move up, and we could have a world where in everybody's top 10, all 4 of the NFC North teams are in like the top 10, if you will. And that's what we expected, Andy. Before the season, when we did our projections, we were really high on the NFC North going into this season.
Yeah, that's true. And you're right. Caleb Williams is starting to really gel in this offensive system under Ben Johnson. And it's exciting to watch them now. There was a little buy low window for him after week 1, but that has disappeared. His market has been up a good 10-20% since then. And you look at this chart here, quarterback deep passing yards versus attempts, weeks 1 through 3. So deep yards, Caleb Williams is almost leading the league here, right behind Geno Smith. And Geno Smith is only throwing it like that because he's got nothing else to do, and he's YOLOing there with the Raiders. And his interception rate is also very high. So really, Caleb Williams is leading the league in deep yards and deep attempts. And that fits in perfectly with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore too. But this Bears offense has really come alive here. And I'm actually trying to acquire some DeAndre Swift. I know he's not in the exact Yeah, I know he's not in the exact role that he's really, built to be in. He's not really a bell cow running back. He's more of a satellite passing down back, the Jameer Gibbs to David Montgomery between the tackles. But I mean, he's getting it done. And I think that there's going to be a lot more positive game script situation. I forgot about Russell Wilson. Look at up in the top corner. That most of that came from that
That
Cowboys game, man, in
yeah,
week
yeah.
2. So yeah, Caleb Williams. I like that take, man. I think the Bears could be a force coming down the stretch and give a lot of team troubles. And they've got a pretty easy schedule, all things considered.
Yeah, and you got to look at it as well. I mean, they choked week 1 away in a game to the Vikings that they probably should not have lost. And then obviously week 2 that they ran into Dan Campbell and the Lions, who looked to be the class of the North alongside my Packers. I'm really high on the Packers. So we'll see how this plays out. Andy, I do think as you pull up these quarterbacks, one of my big calls was Drake May having a fantastic season and Bo Nix regressing some. I've gotten one of those things right. Bo Nix has regressed some. Yeah, I mean, he's got to hit some of these throws. And if he does, they beat the Chargers. Missed a few versus the Colts.
He's
But
right there, man. I thought like overall, when I do get to watch them and from what I've seen, I'm like, man, he makes some good plays and he's in a good system. And I feel like they've been close. The last 2 games they've lost have been against very difficult opponents, and they've been close in each game. Each game was within 1 score. So I think it could easily a couple plays swing their way, and now they're winning these matchups. And they're the team we're talking about, and not. So I actually think that the Broncos down the stretch, like I'm actually interested in buying Bo Nix when we get to the midseason dip, because that division, if the Chiefs come alive, and then you've got how well the Chargers are playing, if the Broncos have like a 500 record, I think there could be potential for them to snag a wild card spot somewhere, or just buy Bo Nix to flip like next season, because I think he'll finish the season strong. So it'd be
interesting.
interesting to see how cheap he gets.
Yeah, so I picked the Broncos to win the North and or the West, excuse me. And I've gotten unlucky. They had the penalty on the field goal kick that would have won them the game versus the Colts. And then we have what we have this past weekend versus the Chargers. Bo Nix missed Marvin Mims so much in that game. Oh my goodness. But I as far as Drake May is concerned, it's been rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's been rough. That offense looks sputterless at
Yeah,
times.
Stephon Diggs has lost a step too, man.
Oh,
He's
he's lost a
definitely
lot
lost.
recently. Yeah, he
He's
is.
lost. He's lost a step. He's not. He's not the guy that he used to be. And they've got the penalties, the fumbles, that kind of stuff is killing them right now. I think overall, like the defensive front 4 is good. They've got big holes in the secondary, so they're giving up big plays. But Drake May, to your point, he's been playing pretty good, man. Dealing with all that other stuff.
You've been higher on Drake in his performance this
I'm
year.
higher on Drake, and I think that this is another team that has got potential, and I'm excited to see Travion Henderson take on a bigger workload. I think he's the best running back on that team. After week 1, and he really pooped the bed when it came to pass protection and picking up some blocks and stuff. He did really bad, so they cut him down. But then after the fumbles, his snap share and his opportunities shot through the roof this past week. So there's a real potential there if they can get this offense going. And he's a rookie. And he was a rookie that was selling super high before the season in camp. And now he's taking a big dip. And we're seeing, we're going to see career low prices. This is the perfect year to buy into these first round rookies. You talk about first round draft capital and quarterbacks. This is the perfect year, Carter. When we get to the end of November, buy Drake May, buy Bo Nix, Caleb Williams may be still in an ascension at that point, but you'll be able to buy Drake May and buy Bo Nix. I'm out on Penix. I'm sorry, dude. Out on Penix.
Oh,
I think
you're
I told you that
totally
last
out.
week. I was out last week. I was out after
Yeah, you were.
and now I'm really out.
Dude, I had a negative grade on him, and then my opinion on him changed a little, and I should have just stuck steady. So we'll see if he can bounce back. But goodness, that was one of the worst QB performances you'll ever see from a year two, ever. And what's interesting is you've seen a dip across all the year two QBs, Andy, as you showed just a minute ago. Once again, Slab Hawk, shout out to them. Want to learn more? Check us out, patreon.com/football cards. But man, look at this. Ugh.
Yeah, let's see how low they get, man. Even Caleb Williams took a hit because, well, he had all that hype coming in with Ben Johnson throughout the all season. Everybody talking about how great this offense was going to be, and then they just like most new coaching staffs with young players don't put all the pieces together week one. You know, they didn't even put all the pieces together week two. So it's one of those situations where, of course, it's going to take a dip. There was so much expectation and hype baked into the prices heading into the season that if you didn't sell before the season, anything short of starting the season 3-0 was going to see Caleb Williams prices dip. And that, same thing for Jaden Daniels, but not the same thing for Bo Nix or Drake May. As you can see, Bo Nix is holding strong. He's only down 5%. This guy is holding strong at a trend of 436 on his Silver Prism. There's an auction that ended 370 on Sunday, though, so you can see those dips are happening in auctions. That's why I don't sell an auction, because you're gonna force a sale, you're not gonna get the price you want. And look at Drake May. Yeah, before the season, 480, 466, and now we're down to 385s. The last one Sunday, and it'll be interesting to see how low they get, Carter. I'll be buying when they get to that $200 range. I buy all day, baby. 200 to 250, buy all day. Because if you go back and look at a couple earlier draft years, let's look at one class back. Let's look at old Bryce Young. One of the best rookie breakouts I've seen in recent years is Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan is quarterback proof. Ted McMillan is a stud. So I don't know. He's going to be one of those guys like Malik Neighbors. That's just a hard market to crack into because they're just that good at their position, fantasy wise, and stems from production on the field. But yeah, I mean, you can see Bryce Young back up here a little uptick. But look at before the season, that card was selling for between 200 and 250. And sure, it's dipped. I mean, of course, it fell by 50%. But hey, the Panthers aren't dead. Clearly, they shut out the Falcons this past week. Maybe that was just an anomaly, one of those any given Sunday type deals. But I got to think if the Panthers continue to, they also looked really good in the second half against the Cardinals the week prior. Finally, Bryce Young woke up. So if maybe this is his thing, he just starts off really slow and then gets better as the season goes on. Maybe we see the Cardinals or the Panthers get back to the median here. And maybe they're the second best team in the NFC South, behind the Buccaneers. Lost Carter. Maybe Carter had to take a work call.
No, my headphones started going crazy. Can you hear me okay with this?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right. No, my headphones started going nuts. Over there. Craig wants to know about the college market. What about Carson Beck, says Craig.
What about old Carson Beck, man? You have to fill
He
me in.
struggled this weekend. He had um, a tough matchup versus a Florida Gators defense in a rivalry week situation. But Carson Beck's got juice, man. Pure pocket quarterback, has some mobility, but not really anything to write home about. But yeah, the Canes are probably going to be in the playoff this year, Andy. They have the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft on their defensive line and Ruben Bain. But yeah, I don't really know. I really don't know what to make about old Carson Beck's market. He has a lot of cards out there, a lot of which are in Georgia uniforms. But yeah, could I eventually see him as a number 1 quarterback in this draft? I could. I really, really, really could.
So this is the thing, and I've kind of learned this from Gaby Card Stacks, who does a ton of college card flipping. I mean, he's a stud when it comes to creating content, especially for college football. And his take is basically this: like, if you can find, let me get back to where I'm sharing my screen. If you can find a Bowman Chrome rookie auto, whether it's first or whether it's the team that they're in and it's serial numbered, and you can get these for around $100 or less for these quarterbacks, that's a great buy. Like that, he feels like there's a lot of upside in that. And I think that's kind of what I've seen as well, because we routinely see the Bowman Chrome University first rookie autos for these guys get up to, especially serial numbered, get up from anywhere to from $250 to $500 when they're a first round draft talent. That doesn't always happen in the running back and wide receiver categories unless they're touted as being generational, like Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter was last year. But for a quarterback, that can easily happen when they get up in that first round. And they don't have to be generational. They just be, the next guy up, the next, NFL ready quarterback up. And you can see right here, there's Carson Beck's PSA 10 Bowman Chrome University first rookie auto, Carson Beck, for $140. Buy it now. Or you can get a PSA 9 serial numbered out of $499 for $80. Buy it now. I mean, that's a buy, man. That's a buy.
Andy's in on Carson Beck.
Well, I'm in on his price. I don't know much about his analytics, and I don't know much about his film, to be honest with you. But from a hobby perspective and the price and the card assets, I can tell you that it's a buy, especially if you're telling me that he's got first round draft potential next year. And he's likely, or like not likely, but he's got a potential to be an early first round draft candidate. Let's wheels up, baby. Let's go for under 100 on this card.
Don's got the QB that I like the most as far as his football card market is concerned. Mr. Lenoris Sellers is a name to look out for South Carolina. He'll be in this next Bowman set.
I know who I'm buying for college, Carter.
Let's
go.
You
put me onto this cat over the weekend. Cam Coleman. Cam freaking Coleman. Dude, this guy looks like a stud. I immediately went and started watching his Leaf auto auctions because he looks like an absolute stud. I think he's going to be a big-time wide receiver in the NFL. But when's his draft eligible year coming?
Not this next one, but the next. So remember, he's a part of that what should be legendary wide receiver class. So you have Jeremiah Smith. Ryan Williams has bounced back after we called him out a few weeks ago. Had a few nice plays in their last game versus Wisconsin. And you have Ryan Wingo in that class. You have Bryant Wesco in that class. But Cam Coleman is my guy, man. I've always been a Cam Coleman. I think he's as good as any receiver. I think he's as good as Jeremiah Smith. I do. That's big. Man, let's go to Ohio. Zim says, is this a good time to buy the dip on Joe Burrow? Now, Andy keeps saying it's going to dip lower.
Yeah, not yet, guys. I'm telling you. I mean, he's pretty much done for the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back at all because the Bengals are going to have what looks like a pretty bad record. So, that's the trend. That's the direction the team's headed. I think so if that's the case, what we see historically your lowest prices are going to happen at the end of November, beginning of December, because not everybody, but a lot of people that right now are super excited about the NFL and the hobby, they not only get burned out, a little bit of burnout, but also they transition to their free capital, their free money that they have to spend on, fantasy football, sports betting, the hobby and cards, get transitioned to holiday expenses, whether it's travel, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's planning for Christmas, this and that, So we don't see, we see the market as a whole dip for the NFL at the end of November, beginning of December. And then we get into the playoffs in January, and that's when it picks back up and people start speculating a lot more. So
and they go to basketball, and they also go to basketball too.
Yeah, they go to basketball too. There's a lot of other stuff going on at that time period. Baseball playoffs, right? Baseball playoffs.
Yeah. MLB. It's going to be a wild MLB playoffs. Apparently, I don't follow at all, but I just know the Dodgers are having bullpen issues. So we'll see how that plays out. Andy, it is time for Hobby Tip of the Week.
Start saving your money now, guys, for that end of November, beginning of December dip. Like, put aside money now, because that is your best time to buy these young guys. These some rookies that don't get off the hot starts, like we've already seen with Genty and Hunter. I would be trying to get 2025 Donruss in any configuration except for like those value packs, if I can find that in retail, because you have the potential to pull a downtown. That's the whole thing. And the optic previews hold value long term. Look at the red Pandoras. You look at the cracked ices they have out of there now. There's a lot of promising cards that you can get in Donruss that you can't get in other sets. I mean, that's been pretty much unanimous. When we look at all the sets that are released throughout the year, every year, the guys I talk to that rip a ton of sealed product, Donruss. That's their favorite one that is released now, just came out, that you have the potential to pull these big cards out of. It seems like all the other retail sets like Prism and Select and Contenders, they pulled all the good cards out of it, and it's only in the hobby configurations. So that's why you still find those blasters and hanger boxes, even mega boxes sitting on the shelves, but it's going to be harder to get Donruss because of the stuff they put in there. So yeah, that's my hobby tip this week.
My tip is pretty simple, Andy. Always watch his channel. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would always, before you go to a show, check your comps. All right. Just have an idea of what your cards are worth. Right. Because there is a card show coming up that I'm affiliated with that I'm not setting up at. And it hit me this morning. I was like, for this last show, I really didn't do any comps. I didn't really look to see what these cards are actually worth. What's the latest price on it? Because it does make negotiations go a little bit faster if you could just tell someone there and then, hey, this card just last went for 90, let's do 80 or something like that. So there you go. Hobby tip of the week was a little late this week, so that's my fault. And now it's time for play of the week, Andy. Let's hear it.
So I'm going to look at a couple different guys here, just because what I'm starting to do now to figure out where my play is, I'm looking at auctions as a whole that end early in the week, from like Hoodies Collectibles and DC Sports 87, because you got a lot of people looking at those auctions. And so if there is a player or card that dips on there, like that's a big deal, So what I found this week is there is an opportunity on Trey Benson. It's definitely wheels up in terms of a buying opportunity, both on eBay and ComC right now for Trey Benson. He is a second-year player. We know it's basically like a rookie when he hasn't had the playing time, and this guy has shot out of a cannon. He's looked explosive. He's a good receiver as well. With James Conner done, this is a big opportunity for him. I mean, we've seen what happened to Jordan Mason last week with that kind of opportunity. Absolutely smashed it. So I'm looking to buy Trey Benson. I actually bought a Trey Benson card last night. Great deal. Offer was accepted this morning. Optic rookie auto, serial numbered for less than $20 out the door, man. So easy buy with a lot of upside second year. But I mean, part of my process is looking at teams that players that are going to get these huge roles due to injury, or players that are just like, because I think at this point we can kind of tell which teams have the bad defenses, like, you know, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Bengals. we can we can get an idea which teams are just going to get cut up all over the field, and so yeah, I'm attacking those defenses, and I'm looking at that team and going, all right, who's the cheapest skill position player that has the ceiling upside to put up a 30-40 fantasy point game, kind of like what you do in DFS, and then take that over to the card market, knowing what I know about the card assets to target: rookie autographs, serial numbered, premium sets, license cards, and finding the deals. And
I like
yeah,
Trey
so,
Benson. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna actually, because that actually was gonna be my play as well. Because the Cardinals like to give their running backs heavy volume, and the DeMarcado back that's also in that backfield, I don't think that he's really that good. So I think it's going to be a heavy dosage of Trey Benson and that Arizona offense. I'm actually going to go with Taylor Green, the quarterback of Arkansas. They're 2-2. This is his last year, and we're not betting on college teams to be good. It goes along with what Don said a minute ago about Lenore Sellers on a middling team. They also have 2 losses. Taylor Green's a quarterback out of Arkansas who started his career at Boise State. He has Boise Bowman first, so the supply is a little bit higher than I would have liked. He's got Onic cards. He's got all these different autos out there. But NFL teams, as we've seen in this past draft class, they don't mind overdrafting players that have elite athletic traits. We see that year in and year out, even at the quarterback position. And Taylor's athletic traits are through the roof. He's got elite speed. He's probably just under the Jaden Daniels tier when it comes to speed as a runner. The arm is special, but mechanically, everything is just all over the place. He throws picks right to people. He's got an elongated motion. He misses reads. But the kid interviews well. He's a smart kid. So I like Taylor quite a bit in terms of the eyes of the NFL teams potentially liking him. And I do think there is a little extra value in that he's Terrell Pryor if it doesn't work out as a quarterback in the NFL. That's how special of an athlete he is, to where I think he immediately becomes a good NFL wide receiver. So it's just something to look out for. Some of his autos at a Bowman go for the $15 to $30 range. Some are in the hundos as rare stuff, but Taylor Green is a very interesting player.
Interesting, man. I'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to give one more play. I feel bad. I stole Trey Benson from you.
No, let's go. Let's hear it. Give me an extra play. Let's go.
And an extra play here, and it's on a chalky team, but there's always value at the skill position. And this one is also a veteran player. It's just the storyline is so good for him. I think he's got potential right now, and then also potential in the playoffs, even if like he gets injured or something happens here. Let me share my screen. It's not Quentin Johnson, but this is who I'm comparing his prices to. I'm also comparing his prices to Ladd McConkey, because I think the play for me this week is Keenan Allen. And I think he's a great play in the hobby this year. I mean, not just this matchup. I mean, Keenan Allen has been shredding defenses, averaging 9.3 targets per game, 64.5 yards per game, and a touchdown on a per game basis. So Keenan Allen, in his 12th year here in the NFL, is on a wide receiver 1 trajectory for the season. So it's like a perfect marriage here for Keenan Allen to in the sunset of his career. And I think this is going to be a really good year for the rest of the year for him. And yeah, you can see how some of these prices for Keenan Allen have definitely gone up. But if I can find a Topps Chrome rookie auto for him. Serial number at 600. Yeah, they did some high serial numbers back in 2013, but Topps Chrome is one of the premium cards for $35. Dude, I remember when Jarvis Landry card prices were a lot higher than this in his sunset of his career. I think when he was like playing for the Saints and he was finishing out his career and he had that like final good season. So yeah, I'm looking at this card as one that could go up a lot in value. And I noticed that Ladd McConkey's come down a lot and Quentin Johnson has gone up. But there's pass catchers that Justin Herbert is bringing along with him. And Keenan Allen, for me, I think is my favorite one because of his career storyline, the fact he's back on the Chargers here to finish off his career.
Interesting.
Yeah. Serious scarcity on 2013, man. First year of Select, so that's a big card I target. But also Topps Chrome was serious player, license cards, beautiful cards from 2013. These scorecards do great. These scorecards, because this is a 1989 look. This is Troy Aikman's rookie card, Barry Sanders rookie card, the iconic Bo Jackson's cards. So like this card right here does good. Does good for DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, and Keenan Allen. Go compare Keenan Allen cards to DeAndre Hopkins because they're both fun plays to make this year.
Same class. Yeah. Well, I'm a 2013 collector, Tyrann Mathieu. There you go. But Andy, great show, man. We'll be back next Wednesday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern with a new fresh set of power rankings. We did not give out our betting plays, so if you want that, I'll be posting my lock of the week later today, patreon.com/footballcards in the in the Discord. So we'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.
Peace.